Welcome to part 2 of our Washington, D.C. adventure in the coronavirus era, where we explore the nation's capital as America goes through a sometimes painful process of growth under relatively muted circumstances. If you haven't seen it yet, go back and check out part 1 of our virtual tour and we'll get you up to speed as we escape a California catching on fire and dip our toes into a reappraisal of collective Founding Father worship. In this episode, we'll introduce you to an incredible cast of characters.
So I'm happy to be a part of the great experiment.
I would say it's always different on the inside.
Delving into the dark humor and misplaced optimism that comes when you've got someone at the helm who can't help but deal in quackery.
This is the response to coronavirus.
Who have you given it to?
To the White House. See, so that's what I'm saying. They gotta, make sure they wash the blood really good.
We miss out on a White House shooting by days,
It wasn't you that tackled them, was it?
but managed to unexpectedly explore the subterranean reaches of the wealthy suburban expanse.
We are in the hole. If you see.
The fact of the matter is, the run-of-the-mill tourist experience has been nixed in the time of COVID-19, and that's just fine by me. Instead, we explore the activist gears that make the place tick, and the true love locals have for the nation's capital, despite lawmakers who seem to prefer inaction.
Pelosi and Schumer on the Democratic side really won't budge on that.
Yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you for having me here.
I could tell in the District of Columbia, people are infatuated by doing important work, but remain on edge that someone could be trying to steal your secrets if you fail to exercise discretion. From the gym treadmill to the business transaction, people here appear to have an interest in bettering themselves for the good of the country, or at least their own personal advancement. I remembered reading an article at one point about how people in the DC suburbs had the highest per capita income in the entire country, but it mostly presented itself as a relaxed environment where it might be nice to curl up to a light thunder shower with a New Yorker long read or something. I was more than 2,300 miles away from Malibu, California, according to the decor on the wall of the Beikzadeh area restaurant where I was dining near my indoor table. Just being there was one of the highlights of my trip. As mundane as that would have sounded in 2019, coming from Los Angeles where indoor dining was still out of the question indefinitely, this felt like a throwback to an earlier time.
A lot of these guys have been bought by private equity and are over-leveraged,
said the overweight man with the teal bandana dishing about shell companies to his classy companion across from me. I linked up with MJ at one point and we got pretty creative, but decided to take a full moon skate through subdued residential streets. I was definitely glad I brought my longboard, and as we were goofing around we switched boards for a bit, and then something potentially calamitous happened. She kicked my board forwards a ways, and I thought she wanted to switch back, so I did the same. She raced headlong after them, but it was too late. They were headed right towards the storm drain. While she was able to stop mine, hers shot right into the slot, like an air hockey own goal. I was half expecting Pennywise the Clown to appear, but luckily we were able to use a car tool to lift the manhole cover without incident. I was willing to descend into the abyss to get it, but luckily the initial brick drain section came to an end not that far down, and we couldn't help but turn the situation into a hilarious selfie moment.
We are in the hole. If you see. Here. We're in the hole.
Wait. I have an extra. Once again, instead of a superficial tourism jaunt, fate had forced me to contemplate the complexity of our nation's capital. In this case, I was confronted with a glimpse of the DC Underground. And while I would have preferred a Fugazi or Black Flag-inspired punk show, instead I was brought face to face with the old Montgomery County runoff system, currently receiving multi-million-dollar upgrades at several points nearby.
Instead, stormwater is channeled through the underground concrete pipes of our storm drain network.
It spurred my interest in learning about fancy pollution control efforts like bioretention that you'd be well served to hop down the rabbit hole on as well. One thing I realized is that if you're going to go to DC, you've got to go to a protest. There's just no two ways about it.
Pelosi and Schumer on the Democratic side really won't budge on that. They say that we're just as much in the thick of the pandemic right now as we were 2 months ago.
This one seemed to be Filipinos standing in solidarity with Bolivians at a park in the middle of an important diplomatic nexus.
The true inadequacy and sheer nefariousness of fascist governments throughout the region.
I couldn't help but notice the expensive vehicles parked nearby.
So if you want to say, Mabuhay! Mabuhay, Bolivia!
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you for having me here. My name is Rob. I'm a member of a group called Katarungan. In Tagalog, that means justice.
and is a member of the, what we call ICHIRP, the International Coalition for Human Rights in the Philippines. It's almost like whatever happens in the Philippines, you can just kind of like look at what's going on in Latin America and like copy it with some tracing paper and just say that's it. Even though our struggles are not one for one exactly the same, they are inextricably linked, right? Because of the primary contradiction of global US imperialism, right? Like unequivocally condemn the Áñez coup government and fascist repression in Bolivia. And I've been very heartened because our Bolivian comrades have shown up to a lot of our events, and it's a real privilege to be here as well.
The warm tones and pitter-patter of applause stood in stark contrast to the smashed windows and non-lethal weaponry of the last protest I've been to in Los Angeles.
Needs to be removed.
The message was potent.
Are those institutions that placate to the United States American imperialism.
It's pretty clear no statues were being torn down today.
Our land and our people are not to be commodified.
And it was on to the federal buildings.
Who are not even welcome to this land.
Now, lawmakers are supposedly hard at work trying to hammer out a deal as far as unemployment benefits.
Folks wouldn't be seeing gaps in those unemployment payments like they're seeing now.
Well, because they're Democrat bills.
We're here in downtown Washington, D.C. The halls of power are behind us. We're going to explore that.
Oh, it's the White House.
Basically, there's a lot of people sitting on their ass, not doing anything, almost like they don't have a job to do. And I'm not talking about the millions of unemployed Americans. I'm talking about the inaction in Congress and the president who seems to throw little missives here and there and tries to trip everyone up. Let's go.
Fortress of Finance. It's the oldest departmental building in America.
No, you're just trying to see the White
Yes.
House? Okay, so if you go around here, you can actually go on the sidewalk up to the front and see the north side.
We tried to contact our member, but they never got back to us.
Yeah, so all of our tours are shut down right now because of the pandemic and everything.
Oh, really?
So yeah, unfortunately, I don't know when they're going to open them back up, but hopefully soon we'll be able to start, because we just opened the park last Friday. So
yeah.
Luckily that's open. Hopefully we'll start getting tours going again soon, but
really?
They haven't told us when that's going to be yet.
Any skirmishes recently?
No, I think it's been pretty good.
Every once in a while you hear some idiot try to run across the lawn or something, right? I don't think that's happened for a while though, right?
Every once in a while, but...
It wasn't you that tackled them, was it? That would have been cool.
It wasn't me, not yet. I had my days off, so I was good.
Thanks.
Just saw total gunshots right here. Damn, it's crazy.
Holy sh**. Officers sprinting to help with guns drawn, traffic diverted. President Trump, in the middle of a briefing on live TV, quickly whisked away to safety.
It's happened for a while though, right?
Every once in a while, but not yet.
It's very hot and muggy. Seems like we got some cheesy music of some sort. Can't tell with military boots. Sleeping on the bench right here. Behind me is the White House, of course. We all know that's the symbol of American power in the world. Donald Trump has been making little legal maneuvers here and there to try to expand that power. And then we have all the different groups out front, various interest groups promoting different causes, people on vacation, taking a little trip here, the way I have, and other people trying to find some sort of solace in the symbolism.
I am a journalist. I'm just doing a travel blog right now. And are you with this group?
No.
So you're not with
I'm
them?
Sister Cassandra Young. Something Spiritual Ministries.
Is that based in DC here?
No, it's in New Jersey.
These guys are very loud. Can we maybe walk over here?
I was one of the women who called in for the COVID-19. Not
Really?
only did I give the plasma, I also gave them 4 other ingredients, which includes the lemon rind. So
Lemon lime.
lemon rind.
Lemon wine?
Rind.
Rind. Lemon rind.
Yes. So
I understand plasma comes from you. But where does the lemon rind come
Well,
from?
that's one of the other ingredients to make a serum for the cure. And not only did I give it to the United States, I also gave it to Britain, British, went to London, and also to Rome. Because in the beginning, you know, there was a very big outbreak. So, you know, God told me to just, you know, just give it. And I just gave it. You know, what he told me to do, that's what I did. I have a really beautiful gift that God, you know, really comes to me and, you know, with visions to help.
Okay.
You know, and I've been doing this for like 15 years.
Giving help of different sorts.
Right, but in different areas.
Right, I see.
He said plasma will help. Tell them to give the people plasma.
Okay.
And also, that's what I'm saying, I had to confirm with the Lord, you know, was it okay to include these other entities? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, you know, put them together for a cure.
That was in April, or when was that?
That was in March. That was in the beginning, when the first outbreak came out, and they said, we have to get a cure quickly.
Yeah. And so you were in New Jersey at the time, right?
Yes, home.
At
my
your,
home.
At your home.
At my house.
At
my
your
apartment.
house. I don't know.
In Patterson, New Jersey.
Okay, yeah, I'm interested because this plasma thing is something they're trying to study.
Yes.
But also, it seems like there's some other stuff going on where, you know, they're sending it to Brazil and everything, and
yes, that's what I'm saying. Yes, the plasma has helped. Yes, and not only did I help with the corona, with the plasma, the Ebola, I called in with the plasma for the Ebola with other 4 ingredients as well.
You've done this before.
Yes, I said, yeah, I've been doing this for like maybe 15 years.
Did you give plasma for Ebola or no?
No, I probably will though. I probably will.
Okay.
Yes, because, you know, God gave it to me to give, you know, to reach out for them for the help. So.
Did you have COVID-19 yet?
No, I took the test, negative. And God said I won't get that.
You personally gave plasma though?
No, I didn't give plasma.
Okay.
God spoke to me and told me to give them plasma. Because that was like in early March.
In early March?
Yes.
Was it a dream or how was
yes,
it?
Yes, it came to me in a dream, in a vision.
A vision? Daytime vision or nighttime vision?
Night.
Nighttime vision?
Night into morning.
Okay, night into morning vision. Yeah, okay, got it. And then how come you haven't done it yet then?
Well, you know, because I have a heart condition. And I want to be, safe. You know what I'm saying? You know, if the doctors, tell you the truth, I really haven't spoken with the doctors yet. You know what I mean? Because then again, then you have to listen to what I'm saying. I have to do what the Lord tell me to do. So the Lord didn't tell me to get my antibodies yet. You know, I might. That's what I'm saying. I might do it. Okay? Because that might be my gift, to the people.
Is that why you came to the White House today?
Yeah, part of it. Because I wanted to speak with somebody about it and to see how it's going and, and find out if the scientists, if they are using the other ingredients that I gave them.
Did you give them plasma or no?
Yes, I did.
You did? Okay, so you did give plasma.
But I didn't give them plasma from my body.
Oh.
I gave them what the Lord told me to give them.
Whose plasma did you give?
The Lord spoke to me.
No, I understand that part, right? That was in March.
Right.
Got it. I understand, yeah.
Right. See, so that's what I'm saying. They gotta, make sure they wash the blood really good. You know what I'm saying?
Who have you given it to?
To the White House.
To the White House?
Yes.
You sent it by mail, or how did you do it? Text. Oh, so you give them the information that they should do this?
Exactly.
You said lemon, what was it, lemon what?
Well, one of them is lemon rind.
The lemon rind,
With the plasma.
You didn't send them any lemons, right?
No. It's 3 other ingredients.
But you haven't given them anything yet, right?
No, I haven't given them nothing out of my body.
Or someone else's body you haven't?
No, because it's 3 other ingredients that they have to go and put together.
And what's the other one besides the plasma and the lemon? What's the other one?
Well, I can't.
It's a secret?
Yes.
It's a secret?
Yes. But they know.
Is a pill or something?
No.
Or? Okay.
No pill.
Powder?
It's.
I know you can't say everything.
It's something that grows.
Something that grows?
Yes, I can say that.
Okay. All right. I'm thinking marijuana, but I'll leave it at that.
No, it's natural. No, it's natural.
Marijuana's pretty natural.
Has a lot of vitamins in it. No.
Okay,
No,
all right.
that don't.
All right,
a lot of people think that it does, but it doesn't.
I understand.
Well, what time is it? Because I got to go and catch my bus.
Okay, well, good luck to you. Now, we have, for example, this group of anti-Chinese Communist Party folks, and they're handing out leaflets that say, your help can bring alive hopes for a new China, period, a better China. That actually wasn't in caps, but it is its own sentence.
October 1st, 1949, Mao Zedong proclaimed the birth of the communist regime in China and declared, "Now let the world tremble."
What group are you guys with?
New Federation State of
New
China.
Federal State of China.
New Federal State of China.
Yes.
So federal, that's like federal government, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So here is the federal government of the U.S., and now you want a federal government of China, right?
Yes, absolutely. We're going to take down the CCP and take it back to China, because CCP did a lot of bad things to Chinese people, especially recently, past half year. They released that coronavirus to the world. Yeah.
Well, we don't have any proof of that, but some people say that.
We have.
I know that, they have studied coronavirus, of course.
Yeah.
That, of course, was supported by the White House, though. Obama actually put money into that. So there is a lot of connections, right? There's a lot of... That's the thing about global politics, right?
Yeah.
It's very complicated.
Yes.
But what do you think is the main thing that you're hoping to raise awareness about today? When people come by and ask you this question, what do you like to tell them?
I think this is like a Chinese communist caused this problem in the whole world. That's my belief. And I could be wrong, but I'm positive this virus comes from the biologs. I believe that's one of my personal beliefs.
And then we have a very a photo that seems like it could be out of an encyclopedia from the 1960s, which is very interesting to me. It almost has that modernism aesthetic that you would see in Africa at the time when they were seeking freedom.
In all of Lagos, the only building dressed for war is the military headquarters.
We're fighting our own brothers, our own friends, our own probably colleagues that we train together.
Within China, Mao Zedong draws up a ruthless program to change an agrarian nation into an industrial power. All his theories of a peasant-based democracy are now discarded.
Who is this scientist person?
This is Dr. Yan, came from Hong Kong.
Now, there's quite an extraordinary story that's emerged this weekend on Fox News about a Chinese virologist who defected. Her name is Li Mengyan. She told Fox News she believes China knew about human transmission of the virus well before it admitted it was infectious. You'd have to say she was right.
This is from the 31 December in China. And early morning, one of the doctors asked whether there are doctors in Wuhan who can share this information about this SARS-like virus.
And she says she was silenced when she tried to raise the alarm.
But there are people immediately warn these doctors that don't ask. Recently, she is explored what's going on in China and explore now.
Are you guys similar to Falun Gong?
No, we're not
they're
following.
different. Purpose is the same. We all against the Communist Party.
Because they really hate Falun Gong.
But my school, that's probably the number one enemy for the government right now. They was.
People die. CCP lie. People die.
Okay, so how do you think it went today?
I think pretty good. They are free. They are enjoying here in American free speech. And they are a little bit scared in the beginning because they come from the Communist United, scared, but we are feel now a little confident.
Mike Wallace for Biography.
My name is John. I'm an employee of the Department of State here in Washington, D.C.
I am a champion of American diplomacy.
I love working for the government.
My colleagues and I proudly serve the United States and the American people at the Department of State.
How long have you been working for the government for?
4 years.
And what was the first week like for you? Was it crazy, or did you fit right in, or what was that?
I've actually worked in multiple parts of the government, so defense sector and public sector over here at the state.
America's first executive department.
So I spent 12 years in the Air Force, so really learned a lot there in the government and now to the federal sector of the government.
We support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
How is it to work at the State Department these days? What do you think about it?
It's great. Great colleagues, great leadership. Love working there.
We protect the American people and promote their interests and values around the world by leading our nation's foreign policy.
And what's one thing that, people might not think about what it's like to work in government?
I would say it's always different on the inside. There's things we can't always disclose, but there's always things that are happening that maybe people need more education on.
As a member of this team, I serve with unfailing professionalism in both my demeanor and my actions, even in the face of adversity.
Looks like a meeting just got out. What kind of meeting was it?
It's a big news.
Secret meeting, got it. How do we get to Congress?
It's down at the end of Constitution. So we're actually 16 blocks from the Capitol.
20,000 tons of TNT. With this bomb, we have now added a new and revolutionary increase in destruction.
Up next, Dr. Anthony Fauci, head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases.
This is your first time at an Alliance reporter briefing. Welcome.
Looks like we just missed the QAnon protest. Bummer. The cool thing about the U.S. Capitol building, we got 1.5 million square feet of space. By the way, prime example of 19th century neoclassical architecture. We see some statues right out front. Leaders, for example, in Georgia, want to replace a statue of Alexander Hamilton Stevens. He was the Confederacy's vice president. They want to put one of John Lewis, who is a Democrat from Georgia. You might remember he's the civil rights leader, who recently just passed away, unfortunately. Each state gets to put 2 statues in the National Statuary Hall. So they get to make a statement about the values we hold dear, although they don't necessarily get to decide where exactly the statues are displayed. So
that's the Senate side over there.
Okay, over there, yeah.
Yep, and that's the House side over there.
Oh, okay.
They're only in session, you'll know they're in session if the flag's up.
Okay.
So both the flags are lowered. Their House was never in today. I think they were just pro forma. And then the Senate came in, but they got done earlier today.
Oh, really?
They got done at like 5:30.
So the House wasn't even here today?
They're pro forma.
Oh, yeah?
Do you know what that means?
Nah.
So basically, they're required to be in a certain number of days a year.
Yeah.
And if they're not in to meet that quota or whatever,
yeah,
the president can unilaterally start passing certain things.
Oh, yeah.
So in order not to do that, they'll come in, they'll have someone bang the gavel, we're here, yada yada, 5 minutes kind of thing, and then they're out. And it counts as a day in session to keep that from happening.
And that's what happened today with the House?
The House, yep, they were just pro forma, so they came in, banged the gavel, we're in for like 30 minutes, and then we're done.
Is this your first year working here, or you've been here for a while?
I've been here about a year and a half.
Yeah. Is it like way easier this year because there's less people?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So in terms of like the crowds, this is the fewest people you're ever going to see during the summer and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, usually you have hundreds of people during
Yeah.
the summer, school groups and everything. So that part's easier, not managing them. On the downside, you have kind of weird restrictions with coronavirus. And then you also we had to handle the Black Lives Matter protests and things like that when that comes up. So.
Was it here? I assume they were.
Most of them were over at the White House, actually. We
Okay.
did have some here.
Any final last words about what it's like to be a security guard here at the Capitol?
Oh no, I'm not allowed to give my opinions on anything. We have to stay politically neutral on everything.
Hey, I'm Courtney. I'm Gracie. We live around here, and so pretty much once a day we come out here and do what we call a cap lap. So we take a lap around the Capitol and kind of take it all in. We've lived here for a little over a year, and it still doesn't really get old. So
just to walk around and see historic things as like everyday parts of our landscape is really, really cool.
There's a building behind us where nothing ever gets done. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, it's frustrating.
It's frustrating.
These days, with the country being so big and members actually wanting to go home, like there are times where it makes sense for them to not actually be in Washington for that much time. And so they have pro forma sessions where legislation can be submitted, but the members aren't here voting. So there's some action that happens, but it doesn't actually require all of them here.
In the same
in the same location.
That's a much more like charitable way of looking at it than I was originally.
Things are as bad and not as bad as they look on the news, so, you know.
Mostly better. Part of Congress is gridlock, and a lot of stuff does not get done. But, especially during COVID, it's been pretty difficult. But yeah, on days like today, a lot of work happened, just not a lot happened in the chamber itself. So.
Do you guys work in government, or do you want to work in government, or do you want to stay as far away from that as possible?
I work in government.
I work in the private sector.
I met a guy from the State Department today.
Nice. Cool.
Actually, and he seemed like just like a nice, chill, yuppie kind of government worker guy, you know. And I asked him what it was like during COVID to work during COVID there, and he's like, "Oh, I can't say anything about it." I wasn't asking for any secrets, but he's like, no, I literally cannot say anything. So he said, just ask me a general question, like, you know. So I'll just ask you, how do you like working in government?
I love it. I mean, that's why I moved to this city, is because I wanted to play a role in helping make our country better. And I think moving here and looking at the government and the news every day, it can be easy to be cynical about things, but also I love America, and I know that this city is full of people who also love the country and really would like to see important change happen. And the fact that it takes some time is probably a good thing, because if things just happened overnight, who knows where we'd be. America is the greatest country ever, and so I'm happy to be a part of the great experiment, as they call it.
Well, I would maybe disagree, just because I'm from Canada.
Well,
you know,
we love Canada.
I think Canada's like, you know, pretty good also. What part of the government do you work in?
I work for Congress.
For Congress? Don't you get sick of being around your building for your little run?
Not yet. They say that when you get tired of seeing it, then you should leave DC, and that's not happened yet. So.
What do you like about being in the private sector, or are you trying to make the move to government at some point?
I'm in the process of completing graduate school, so right now private sector makes sense for me, but I'm hoping at some point to be working for the government. So we'll see how long that takes for me to make the move.
So this is my first time to DC. I don't know how representative with, you know, COVID and everything this is of Washington DC, but what's one overarching feeling that you'd like me to walk away from DC with that maybe I haven't captured, or what's one thing that you know, you love about this place?
Oh, just one thing.
Just one thing. You really like it that much? Wow.
Oh, we love DC.
You're DC kids, yeah.
We're not from here either. It's not like we grew up here. It's just
chosen home.
It's a chosen home, yeah. You look at everything and you can see. We've both studied history a lot in the last 16, 17 years of school, and it's really amazing to look at something and know its history and know the people who walked here before us and the changes that they made, and just the idea that possibly we might be able to have just the slightest impact on making future change. So it's a really inspirational place to be. It's a place for go-getters. It's a place of great friendships and lots of people who don't get along but trying their best to make it work for everybody.
I came all the way to DC. Probably saw most of the important things when I was down here. And behind us, we have the Supreme Court right there. Be nice to see a little more action, but you know, as they say, boys will be boys, I guess girls will be girls. Hopefully one day our lawmakers will grow up, get some stuff passed so they don't leave millions and tens of millions of Americans kind of on the hook. I know quite a few people that would appreciate it if they had some clarity around what was going to happen with their unemployment benefits. This is an unprecedented scenario that we're all in, dealing with the pandemic. How do you make decisions even when you don't know what's going to be happening in a month, 2 months? When you're waiting on the government to make some stupid decision that should take 2 seconds, but they just keep you waiting, and you're holding on to this thin little strand of hope that you want to use to kind of pull yourself above the water. But for now, here we are. It's pretty chill. Even the security guards are kind of chill today, you know, there's not too much craziness. And I got to meet some interesting protesters, hang out with MJ, and yeah, even had a root beer float, which is pretty sweet. A&W root beer float, can't beat that.
Gotta keep it fresh.
With our political business taken care of, it was time to get a taste of the DC nightlife, such as it is during the partial coronavirus shutdown. How did today's attempt to go to the White House compare to other times? Was it crazy or less crazy?
I usually don't drive. I used to bike there.
Grazie. It's Illy.
It's Illy. It's Illy in the house.
Illy in the house at your local bar, right?
It's my local bar. This is Glover Park.
Yeah.
The amazing Art Curry with our great bartender here, Mr. Andrew. And I am recently back from California.
Which is where we met. So what do we got here, bro?
Yeah, Bryce, upsell it.
Tell me about this limoncello.
Lemon peels and moonshine, baby.
Oh yeah.
Bro, this is the response to coronavirus. The lady was telling me today. Plasma, lemon peels.
Oh my god. And alcohol.
No. She wouldn't tell me the secret. There was a secret ingredient that she wouldn't tell me.
From God, right?
A secret ingredient. I said it must be marijuana. She said it's not marijuana. I was like, okay, I give up.
All right,
here we go.
Oh yeah, давай.
L'chaim.
L'chaim. What do you think?
good.
That was really nice, bro.
It didn't taste like apple.
Frequency Horizon approved.
It didn't taste like apple?
No.
That's good. It didn't taste like apple.
Yeah.
That's better than apple. All right, here we go.
Get wild.
How about this?
Should I play this?
Try it.
I'm going after the big guy. Go. Get him. Boom. All right.
Yes.
Let's do it. Boom. Bang. Oh. Look, my score's going up. Back up to 5. Oh, $6, $10. Woo. 16, 20, 18. How do I cash out? Good. Woo. Cheers, bro. Hey, get some food. That is a hookah, right?
I don't know.
I don't know what's going on.
This goes to the video I met. This lady I met at the White House today. She was telling me how she had a crazy trippy dream about how plasma was the solution to the coronavirus. All right. See you later, Washington, D.C. It's been real, but I'll have to catch you next time. It's bright and sunny outside, and the duty-free looks pretty open. But Chanel, no dice. Pandora, Corsa Collections, not happening. All right, social distancing a bit challenged at this particular gateway. Final leg of the journey. Headed back. LA. Here we go. Yeah.
everybody to have a seat until medical personnel comes on board. Please have a seat.
Instantly, as soon as I land in LA, already back at work, I guess. Let's see what happens. Thanks for coming along for the ride. And by the way, I got tested and I didn't pick up the novel coronavirus along the way. Cheers. See you next time.